The Street's #1 chips analyst says tariffs are Trump's preferred way to boost the industry rather than stimulus like the CHIPS Act. Joining us now is Bank of America Securities senior semi-analyst Vivek Arya. Vivek, glad to have you here. I was very surprised that this area was the worst hit of the market today, with NVIDIA down 5% in the morning. Why?
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you for having me. I think the industry is caught up in this, intersection of all the geopolitical nervousness. It's the DeepSeek concerns from last week. And it's an industry that has done very well over the last few years. So I would imagine that a number of investors own it as well. There is a fair bit of retail interest. So I think that naturally enhances the volatility of the industry. But let's take the news that has come out from tariffs. I think the cyclical part of the industry is exposed to it, as you said, indirectly, if, let's say, because of tariffs and the friction in the supply chain, if there is any reduction in volumes of cars and other industrial equipment from Canada and Mexico, there can be a concern. But when you look at the secular part of the industry, which has to do with the application of artificial intelligence and the use of servers, most server production has shifted to Taiwan, right? Some to Mexico. I think the customers who buy a lot of these products, for them, this is very mission critical to have in their cloud infrastructure environments. So we are assuming that the impact of this is notable in the near term, but should dissipate in the longer term.
Right. So do you think the near-term impact has more to do still with kind of the DeepSeek hangover? Or do you think it's really that people go, look, what happens if the president starts really tariffing Taiwan-made semis, as all of them are?
Right. I think that, look, semiconductors is a global industry, and there's a lot of kind of pools of excellence, right? There are certain companies who design these semiconductors extremely well, certain companies that manufacture them very well, certain who package them well. Japan is a great source of chemicals. So it's a global industry. It relies on inputs from many different companies coming together. So any kind of friction is not good for the industry. But we should, remember that this friction is nothing new. Back in the first term, remember there were a lot of restrictions that were put on the Chinese ecosystem on Huawei as an example, and semiconductors over time powered through that. So our assumption is that this is another one of those times where when you do have restrictions put in this ecosystem, but the global demand for chips that enabled new markets and applications, whether it's in cloud computing or automotive or industrial automation, I think that secular trend does continue over the longer term.
Sure, and a lot of the more bullish, analysts and experts have said, look, everything that's happened with AI development and innovation, whether it's DeepSeek or what have you, is only going to increase the need for these highly complex chips going forward. So here's my question, Vivek. NVIDIA is down 23% from its recent highs. Is it going back to 140, or are we going to laugh to think it ever was a almost $4 trillion company?
Sure. So first of all, Kelly, I think we are big believers in the fact that if one makes computing more efficient, we will use more of it, right? If you look at the last 8 years or so, the capability of NVIDIA chips has gone up by a factor of 1,000 times, right? Since 2018, the capability of their chips has gone up by 3 orders of magnitude. In that time, the revenue of their data center business has gone up by 300 times. Right? So just because the chip is made more efficient, or there are other efficiencies that come out because of software or operating systems or large language models, I think what history shows us is that there is enough demand in terms of new applications that is able to absorb all this. It's just that this news is coming at a time when there were delays in Blackwell, which I think will be sorted as the company reports over the next few weeks. So no, we are big believers in NVIDIA.